so we should be live. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, we're live. I hope you guys were ready.
Yeah, I think we're live, so go ahead, Jillian.
Oh, hello. Was definitely not out-tabbed onto something else looking at my Twitter feed. No, I would never do
Not
that.
be you.
Just kidding. Well, welcome everyone to the second ever episode of slAyMA podcast, the summer edition. And so we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics for today. First and foremost being some of our summer plans, because who doesn't love getting into the festivities and good vibes of summertime, am I right, fellas?
Sabrina's already got the understanding. Another day.
Yeah.
Another day, another sleigh. That's right. So I kind of just wanted to start things off with, talking about all of our summer plans. I know for me and Kevin, we're going to be going down to LA this weekend to, go to Anime Expo, which is going to be super, super exciting. There's already so many activities that I personally want to go to. But Brandon, if you actually want to start and tell us about your summer plans, what do you got going on, brother?
Honestly, I don't have too much going on because I'm just kind of on the grind to finish uni. So I'm in my last year and I graduate in end of April next year. So I took summer and spring and summer classes. So those are keeping me busy. But I at least plan to start archery. I signed up for an introduction to archery class
Oh my
earlier
gosh.
today. So that'll be fun. Other than that, I don't really have anything big planned. The only stuff I had planned, I went to I have a couple weddings to go to, but no
Wait,
vacation.
I need to hear more about this archery class. This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Tell me everything. What made you decide to sign up for one? And have you had your first class yet?
No. So I signed up for the literal introduction 101, introduction to archery 101. They're gonna provide all of the supplies and stuff. I'm not gonna have to buy anything or bring anything, just from the basic beginnings. But I don't know. It always just seemed kind of therapeutic. You control your breathing really hard, and it's just nice and peaceful. It's you shoot a gun. That's so much noise, and you have powder and stuff, and bullets flying, or the casings flying. But so archery, it's just you pull back the bow and you aim, you hold your breath, and you shoot. It seems relaxing,
Yeah.
You know what else requires you to breathe? Demon Slayer. That's all. Their whole big deal is breathing and stuff. So I'm kind of in my head. I was kind of thinking oh man, this sounds like the setup for some shonen anime setup and stuff. But no, that seems pretty cool. I think activities like archery, these sort of uncommon sort of sports, is really fun. I mean, just from a viewing perspective. I know for me personally, I would probably not do it. I'm more of a basketball sort of person. That's always been pretty fun for me.
Wait, really?
Yeah, actually, I used to play basketball a lot. I actually used to play on my middle school team just for 1 year in 7th grade. I had the advantage of being the tall person, so I was a pretty good center. And then by 8th grade, it sort of evened out of it. Everyone just went through their growth spurts, oh shoot! So the competition got fierce in terms of the center game. But on that topic too, did you guys play any other sports before, or were you kind of just not your thing?
I could see you breaking LeBron's ankles. I'm just
Call me Jillian James, please.
I did volleyball in college, not because of Haikyuu, but then I also started watching Haikyuu during that class, so it was pretty funny. But volleyball is really fun. I think I took beginner and then I took intermediate because beginner was so fun. But when you take intermediate, it's actually all the people who are really good at volleyball because they don't want to take beginner, right? And there's no advanced volleyball. There's just intermediate at our university, Jillian. So it was pretty rough in intermediate, but I think beginner was fun and I learned a lot in intermediate. So yeah.
Well, we gotta go hit the beach volleyball net.
I like indoor way more, but yeah.
That's sweet that you even have volleyball classes. My school does not have anything like that.
Oh yeah, we played it indoor in gym.
Oh,
so
that's so cool. Or if they do, I haven't discovered it. Didn't look.
I feel like volleyball is such a standard sport, like nationally recognized, that every school should probably have one, right?
Yeah.
I mean, does your school have any like region specific sports, I guess? Like I know y'all are near like a lake and stuff, so maybe you do like dragon boat, competitive dragon boat.
No, nothing interesting happens on the Great Lakes really. So there's no
Damn.
like sports or anything.
They don't have esports either? Oh fuck.
No, esports is doesn't exist over here really.
Damn.
Like I
There's
did
no
go to
gamers
that
over
one.
there.
My school did have a Valorant tournament, like an in-house
Oh, yeah.
Valorant
Nice.
tournament. I played in that, but other than that, like even then, for a university as big as Wayne State, like there weren't really that many people there. There
Mhm.
was one Radiant player though.
Oh,
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, I guess coming from the school that actually had a pretty decent like esports like scene there, I kind of just assumed that like more schools across the country were having like esports clubs. So it's kind of just like puts in perspective how there's still a lot of schools that need to like adopt it and stuff. But like, yeah, I think sports is like pretty fun, and you taking archery just makes me want to like try like very uncharacteristic sports too. Like, I know rock climbing is like pretty huge thing with some of my friends, and I feel like I would want to try it out, especially during the summertime where it's like super hot and you just feel all warmed up, ready to do like active activities.
yeah, rock climbing's fun. You gotta go to the gyms, rock climbing gyms.
Oh my god, on that note too, I also want to take a dance class. We still need to do that,
Oh,
Kevin.
the K-pop
We
dance
still need
class?
to do our K-pop dance class.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, let me know.
There's
when.
actually there's Brandon, just fly over.
Yeah.
But there's this K-pop store in our city, Jillian, and they sell like album stuff. You know, the usual K-pop store stuff. But the people who like created the store, they actually all met from a K-pop dance class,
Oh my god.
and it's like in Santa Clara-ish, that area, that actual studio. So maybe we should go to that one. That'd be cool.
What was it again? Just remind me.
Oh, I don't know the name of the. I have to go check, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's somewhere in like that area. So
Okay.
You guys
That's so
ever heard
cool.
of
Is it new? I've never heard of it before.
You ever heard of
No.
the underground K-pop group BTS?
Oh yeah.
Once or twice.
Man, that just takes me back to when BTS was like not as popular before, and then 2017 hit, and then just like damn, worldwide popularity. But if we want to talk about K-pop, feel free to talk about more K-pop. I love K-pop. I mean, can we talk about the Twice World Tour? Like, oh my gosh.
That's
I know.
not Twice. Oh my gosh, it's not Twice. Just saying.
Oh, true. My fake fan, New Jeans, actually made OMG.
Yeah, they're actually coming back soon. New Jeans is like in a week or two. They're having a comeback album.
Oh shoot,
Really?
they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna take over TikTok again, man. I
Yeah,
swear.
probably.
I know. Do y'all like still enjoy like K-pop as much as you did before? Like, there's so many new groups nowadays that just sort of feels really oversaturated, and like I guess they all kind of have like the same sound. So I'm kind of just wondering if like you've just established like your own favorite groups and just like stick to them.
Yeah, I kind of fell out of touch like a couple of years ago. Like I'll still listen to the occasional song, you know, the ones that like really blew up. But
Hmm.
other than that, there's not really any groups I follow specifically. It's
Mhm.
just one or two songs here and there. Because, yeah, like you said, they all kind of sound the same now. There's not much variety. It's just,
Mhm.
like, gotten too generic, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way where it's like you pretty much only pay attention to like the big companies. Like, you know, aespa is kind of okay, but I give them a pass because they're from SM and they're all hot. So not kidding, but like they actually do have like pretty like good vocalists and stuff. It's just that they're sort of held back by these weird sort of musical concepts, and it's just like, damn, can these girls get a regular ass song?
Yeah, I remember when they were, like, when they started, they were hyped because they had, like, the VR, like, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
And everybody was like expecting some like brand new concept, something that was gonna be like really cool, and then they released a music video and it showed like each person for like 1 second, and it was like, well,
Mhm.
okay, what was even the point of making these? Like, They just did
I
it to
know.
hype people up and not disappoint them.
Yeah, those videos where it's like individual like snapshots of sort of their personas and their lore, and I just love Giselle so much. The one where she's in a university class, even though she's like what 19 at the time, and she's just
Professor.
like professor. What if my eye gets hacked?
I got recommended a video on YouTube today. It was 8 seconds long, and the thumbnail was Giselle in the classroom, right? So I assumed it was just that clip, and the title was Professor dot dot dot. And I was like, oh, I'll just play the clip. It's 8 seconds long, and it's Giselle going Professor dot dot dot, and then another voice going, what the fuck?
Oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, I think aespa had a really interesting start. I mean, I will say Black Mamba is a pretty good song. And then Next Level was like, it's really popular, but for me, I don't really like it that much. I'm
Savage.
personally a fan of
Savage.
Savage, which is
Yeah.
funnily probably like their worst song. I just find it so amusing, and the highest note battle at the end of that song was like my favorite thing because it's just so out of the box, like so strange but so good at the same time.
Guys, please
What?
refer to chat. Sabrina said, have you heard the newest 17 chart-topping album, FML?
I have
Fuck my
not.
life.
Fuck my life.
Yeah, let's talk about 17. I mean, these guys, what can we say about them? They're just so talented. I feel like all the time when they come back with a new album, it's like always a new, fresh concept. But I never get tired of it because just how great their music sounds. I think I just have so much love for 17. I hope they come back for another world tour soon.
Yeah, 17 is definitely my favorite group right now, and has been for a while. I think my relationship, like going back to your question, my relationship with K-pop has always been, I like go through phases of like getting really obsessed or fixated on one group at a time. So, like for example, back in the day, it'd be like SNSD or like Red Velvet or like Twice or BTS. I just have like a few months where I fixate on them, watch all their content, listen to all their songs, every album, and then I move on to a different group. So I guess I don't do that anymore. But nowadays, whenever one of those groups that I was kind of fixated on in the past comes out with a new album, I'll listen to it. But not so much the newer groups, like the really young groups, except for New Jeans and XG. I guess those are different. But
XG.
yeah, like XG and New Jeans are special in that pretty much all, like 90% of their songs I like, and that's really rare to say. Like I can't even say that about 17. Like that's my favorite group, but they have so many songs though, relative,
That's
right?
true.
So
Excuse you.
Yeah.
it's not fair.
Did you just say you can't say 90% of 17 songs are good? Is that what
I
you just
cannot.
said?
I'm not Sabrina. I cannot say that.
If you were a true fan, you would apologize for every song. Every song is a good song.
Never mind, she said.
I mean, yeah, I feel that though. Like, there are just some times where your favorite group comes back, and truth be told, that song is shit. No one is immune from this. I mean, it's happened to Twice. It's happened to ITZY more times than I can count recently, and it's happened to 17 sometimes
The
too.
biggest offender is Blackpink is not in my area. That shit sucks.
Blackpink is disconnected from the area. That's what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Honestly, they
Yeah.
were like, they were really hot when they like first came out. Like,
Yeah, because
but
their songs in the beginning were good.
yeah, but then like after that, I don't know, it just wasn't as good really quick. Like after like a year or two, but everybody still just hopped on the train.
But like
Mhm.
behind BTS, they're the biggest idol group, so
Yeah.
they don't need to make music anymore. They can just do their own
Mhm.
sponsored shit and make infinite money, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I won't knock on any Blackpink fans, but like as someone who's sort of following them since they debuted and stuff, I don't really consider them an actual like musical group. Like they barely come back. Like they always come back after like sporadic sort of hiatuses. They're always doing their own solo activities. It seems like they're more focused on being fashion influencers and actually like making music and stuff. So I don't really consider them to actually be like a real K-pop group. But it's surprising to me how, you know, globally popular they are, like with just their limited music, right? Like to me, I'm just sort of thinking about whether it's just a bunch of people like bandwagoning over the fact that they're this hot it's a bunch of group of hot chicks, or if there's actually merit to their music and stuff. But what can I say? I can't sway worldwide opinions about Blackpink. I think their popularity is pretty much set in stone. But anyways, moving back to just summer plans and stuff. I know we have Anime Expo coming up this weekend. Super exciting, but I'm kind of curious, like, have y'all like had much experiences going to like these sort of big conventions before, and like what are you looking forward to most in terms of like Anime Expo? At least for Kevin and myself. I don't know if Brandon also wants to talk about anime conventions, if there are any in his area. Feel free to chime in too.
Brandon?
wait. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna go. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So I've been to, I guess, a decent amount of anime conventions, but mostly like the one in our city, Jillian, that's widely known, and Anime Expo. I went last year for the first time, and in terms of like big conventions in general, I've gone to a few like business ones as well, but I think Anime Expo is exciting in that it's like kind of the premier like anime convention in the U.S. I guess NYC is getting up there, but right now it's still AX. It's been AX for a few years, so it's always exciting. It's one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest one, I believe. And it's always super crowded. People come from like all over the world, right? We have guests and also like just anyone coming from all over the world to see certain people, certain guests. But I wouldn't say I'm really into anime that much anymore. So I can't really get into like a lot of the panels. I don't really play a lot of like JRPG games, RPG games, and a lot of these panels just aren't interesting to me. That's why like I told Sabrina the only thing I'm interested in at AX this year is the Valorant panel. Like literally out of everything there, guests, the rooms, all the panels, I'm just interested in the Valorant panel. That's literally the only thing I have to go to. So I'll wait in line for 4 hours. I don't care. It's not like I have anything else to do. So
I saw you shaking your head there, Brandon. What's up?
But I will buy, stuff like stuff for Brandon and stuff for another friend who asked me to buy something. But it's not like I need to buy stuff for myself. Like I don't really buy art and like posters and prints and keychains anymore. Like none of that stuff is really interesting to me. So for me, yeah, AX is the Valorant panel and just meeting people, just everyday guests like you and I. Like last year, I met some cool people.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. What about you?
This is like my first Anime Expo, so I'm just going in pretty much blind.
I thought
Not sure what. Have I?
I thought you said that you've been before.
Did I say that? I don't think I did I?
Or maybe
I thought I meant to talk about anime.
I thought you said you went with your family like 1 year, or maybe was it Fanime?
I feel like it was just Fanime, right?
It was something LA related, and it was an anime thing, so I thought it was Anime Expo, but maybe it wasn't.
Maybe it was like a Off-Kai Expo before it became Off-Kai Expo.
Yeah.
Well, regardless if I went or not, Anime Expo this year is just, I don't know. It's been a while since I've been to an anime convention of this scale. I mean, Fanime is like cool and all, but over the years it just sort of felt like a local sort of thing. Like not too much fanfare in terms of just activities there, but it's always fun going to the Artist Alley. But I feel like at Anime Expo, just from all the guests and like the panels and like all the activities and like physical like activations and booths they have, like it's pretty much what I'm thinking is like the sort of haven for any sort of anime fan or like Japanese pop cultural fan. And I'm just like excited for the possibilities of meeting like all the influencers there. Like I'm sure Offline TV is gonna be walking around sometime, and my little like inside goal is to like see if I can find Lily Pichu and like take a picture with her again, because that'd be really cute. But I'm really excited too for like some of the panels, like the Valorant one for sure. Like would love to go there, and I'm kind of curious if they'll actually like give out free stuff. Hopefully,
yeah,
maybe throw stuff into the crowd.
They're giving out to at least a few hundred people like that VCT Tokyo manga or comic book. So they're giving that out at least. There's probably other stuff too.
If OTV is there, Kevin gets his chance to apologize to Scara.
No, actually, they were there last year doing a panel, but it was my first Anime Expo, and I didn't realize like how crowded things would be, and you had to line up for that panel. So I think that panel happened at 1:30, you had to line up for that 1:30 panel at like 11:30. That's like how long the line was, how crowded it was, and they just stopped the line up. They cut the line after a certain point. So I had to be in that line. I didn't even know where the line was. I just didn't do research. But this year, I know exactly where to line up, what room for the Valorant panel, when it's happening, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll be more prepared for this.
Yeah.
But apparently, Scar was walking around Artist Alley, the artist room, last year, and I didn't catch him. So unfortunate.
Hey,
Do you think Scar will remember who you are if you talk about World of Warcraft?
Oh yeah, I watch his stream on Twitch. He streams on Twitch like a lot, and he always plays like TFT and stuff. But if you like talk in chat, he like interacts with you. And I talked like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I mentioned my name. And he's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck are you doing there?" And I played against him in a Valorant game. He was playing Valorant with like it's like Shifter, Darius, and like some other people. And unfortunately, I lost because Shifter is insane at Valorant. Like I think he's like Immortal 3 or something insane. But Scar is not insane. He's like Gold 1. But I lost because his teammates were insane. Like what the hell? But yeah, I have like run into Scar. He remembers my name.
For sure.
Whether or not we're super friendly, that's like another question.
So so you're 0 for 2 against the streamers. Remember we went against Pokemon.
Offline TV, I am 0 for 2. Yeah.
Dang.
That's so cool though. And I'm just surprised that Scara still remembers you after all these years.
Yeah, because I think after League, WoW was like the game he spent the most time on. Like, so.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised too that Shifter's actually really good at Valorant. Like
Shifter is a gaming god, actually. I watched Scar's stream, and whenever a new WoW expansion comes out, they'll play, and Shifter will play. And Shifter never played WoW back in the day, right? And he's just really good. He's just like, really good at everything, pretty much. Shifter's insane.
I know that's just interesting, seeing how like. For me, in my head, I just picture like esports pros are only going to be ever good at just one game, right? I don't expect them to actually get good at other games, which is, I guess, not true because Shifter's really good.
Yeah.
But...
Another pro who's really good at every game is Doublelift. He plays.
He
played CS:GO. He played WoW. He's always high ranked in all those games. So.
It helps though when you have like when you're pro in one game, you like get to talk to all these other pro players, right? And so like if you try a game, you can like be like the one player that's really good, like, hey, can you help me learn this game? And actually like not struggle to really learn it and just have somebody teach you everything. Which makes it way easier than like if we were to have to pay for a coaching session or something, like if we were really trying to learn a game.
Yeah, true.
So have you done it for Dota, Brandon?
No, I had my friend who was his rank is Guardian, which is essentially silver, coach me. So
oh wow. Very, very useful.
Yeah, no.
Okay, but like if y'all could just become like a professional player for like any game, which would you pick? Like you suddenly woke up today and you're like, oh shoot, I have this mechanical skill of Faker. I can play like every character, every gun, every equipment, whatever. The knowledge of esports is in your mind. Like, what would you want to be the best player for?
Does the game have to have like an established scene, or are we just any
yeah, that's a good point. If you could just be a god at any game, like, what would it be?
At any game.
Right now, so if you ask me about money, like if I want to be a pro for the money, it'd be Valorant. I'd be the best Valorant player. If you ask me about the most hype genre or like game that I think is like the most hype, like when you're in person playing tournaments, it's fighting games and it's Street Fighter 6 right now.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. If you ever watch an EVO tournament, grand finals or top 8, any match in top 8, it's insane. Like the hype, the viewers on Twitch, it's insane.
Yeah,
but, yeah.
I'm actually I'm going to the Big House this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know if you guys ever watched any of the Big House, but they have.
I watched it, but I heard of it.
Yeah, they have like most of the premier like fighting game players there have most of the games, so it should be really fun. I haven't really ever played any besides I played Smash Bros quite a bit because my friends used to love playing it, but I was never like serious about it. But I hope like could still like enter and play against somebody maybe get played like against a top ranked player. That'd be a cool experience.
Yeah, I would love to be godlike at any sort of fighting game. More specifically, either Smash or Tekken. I've just been such a big fan of just Tekken esports in general. I feel like out of all the fighting games that are like in competitive tournaments, like that's the one that's like the most fast paced. And there's like every time there's like a really big upset, it's like a really big deal. Like actually this past weekend was like a fighting game tournament in Florida called CEO, and like the top player in the world, Arslan Ash, just got beaten like twice and was put into losers bracket and then didn't even get like past 8th place in top game. It's just like and he got beaten by an American streamer, dude. Like this guy just mainly known as like a streamer and he beat the best player in the world. Like that's just crazy to me. I'm sure there's other like instances where that's happened in other fighting games, but I just have a soft spot for Tekken just because of how fast paced it really is. But yeah, you know, as we're talking about all things pop culture and media, I kind of want to switch gears and talk about something that's been taking the internet by storm recently, which is the world of VTubing. Now, I don't personally have much of a stake in VTubing. I've just kind of been living vicariously through my friends who are like super into it. But I'm just curious what you guys think about VTubing as like a sort of piece of entertainment. Like, do you think it's good, bad? Not really feeling much about it. Like, what's your take on it?
Um, I don't get it. I'll just say like I do not get it. Like I personally haven't watched that much as far as like VTubers go, but I don't know. It's just it doesn't like add anything to me. You know, when I watch it, like people they put all this effort into these like models and like into the design, and it doesn't make watching really any different than if you were just watching a person sitting there with the green screen behind them, right? But then they put effort into like making these absurd personalities that whenever I've tuned into a stream, they're just kind of more annoying than they are like entertaining, right? So I'm not trying to hate on people putting all this effort into this stuff, but like I don't know. I personally don't understand it. I don't think it's very good.
Not when our resident VTuber is in the chat right now. Yeah, no, I get that though. I will say that there are some VTubers that I guess have a certain personality that might rub you the wrong way. They might just get too into it. But I will say that I find some of them to be really amusing. Like just hearing from what my friends are talking about, like in terms of VTubers and their sort of recent streams, like I just find it really interesting. Like I've recently become a fan of this VTuber called Pippa, who's like this this bunny girl, but it's funny because she's like super cute in terms of like how her character looks, but her personality is just really like what would you say? Just the gangsta thug. She kind of just says whatever and like does all like these super weird like stories and stuff. I just find it like really interesting and like amusing. But I know VTubers as a whole, I just think there's a lot of different perks to it too. Like I like how it gives more people like privacy in terms of their streaming life. Like you can still like create a fan base, but you can do it through this persona, and people actually like really dig that and buy merch of the character or like draw fan art of the character, and like you can even like meet with your favorite streamer but like virtually, but like it's not as big of a deal because they still like the character and how it looks. So I just like the way that it gives more like creative freedom to all like these up and coming streamers, and I just like the fact that there's just more privacy related to it. Although I will say that people still find ways to dig personal information out, so maybe that's not really helpful.
Yeah, and plus there's like what's his name? Dreams. I mean, he didn't have like a VTuber or anything, and people would still draw the like fan art of the dude with the mask right before he showed his face and got bullied into oblivion for showing his face. But like, so I get sort of the privacy standpoint, but it doesn't have to be that much effort. Like it's so much effort for not adding much. Like, I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, especially because how expensive it is just to commission the character, get the rigging done, get it all set up, and then after all that costs, you end up getting like what, 5 viewers?
Yeah,
It's
like,
pretty rough out here. I mean, streaming business as a whole is like, I feel like it's matured in the sense that I think it's super hard to even take off a streaming career nowadays because the sort of each game has gotten their own core of influencers that people would want to watch. Like if you want to watch Valorant, you're probably going to watch Kaide and Tens and Tarek. If you watch League, you'll probably watch all the pro players and stuff because I can't think of any League streamer now. I think every streamer has sort of given up on League with how bad it is nowadays. But yeah, like I'm kind of wondering how streamers nowadays will try to, build their viewership and stuff because I think it's just so difficult.
yeah. Except for slAyMA, they're blowing.
Yeah,
up. They're
except for
blowing up.
us, of course. We're gonna just continue to grow and grow until we become multi-billionaires,
Of course.
We're not
creating
stopping
our
at
own
billions.
content house.
Not stopping at billions.
I know.
But,
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I guess I was just gonna talk about this one thread that I saw recently from like this YouTuber, and he was kind of talking about how gaming creators sometimes they just feel content to like post their whole VODs or like their whole gameplay sessions on YouTube, but he was kind of dunking on that, saying that it's not really like the way content works now, and like you actually have to be really really creative and like try to find ways to make those sort of gaming sessions look interesting by like clipping it together or like even doing like these fun challenges or just more ways to interact with your viewers. So I just felt that I agreed with that a lot, and just me talking about streamers just sort of made me think about that one Twitter post.
Yeah, so I will talk about VTubers, but first I want to talk about streaming. So I think a long time ago I heard someone say, I forget who it was, but it was a streamer, it was a really big streamer. They said you need 2 out of 3 things to become a big streamer or become like a successful streamer. And it's those 3 things are being extremely exceptional at a video game. Like your skills are top 1%, challenger in League, rated in Valorant, like top 100 rated in Valorant. Like basically you could beat pros. That's how good you have to be. You have to be insanely, like have really entertaining personality. Like your content has to be really entertaining. Your personality has to be really entertaining. Or 3, you have to be insanely attractive physically. Like 9 out of 10 plus 10 out of 10 attractive. And you need 2 of those 3 things to become a successful streamer. It's not enough to have 1, right? Or maybe the skills 1. Like you could be insanely good, that's enough. Because I've seen really good Valorant players with no cam on, not even talking, become really big, right? So maybe that's the only one that's can succeed on some. But I think that for a lot of streamers or budding streamers or people want to get into streaming, a barrier of entry is like they don't want to stream with a webcam, and that really kind of like removes that connection that you can have with your viewers. Like if they see your face, you're speaking to the camera to them. It feels like you're speaking to them when they talk to you in chat. And I think the problem people have, they get social anxiety or whatever, or they're insecure about their looks, whatever the reason is, they don't want to show their face. They don't want to have the webcam on, right? So I think VTubing removes that part. You can have a really beautiful, attractive model, right? VTuber model or picture or image, whatever, right? And people are into that, right? They don't need to see suddenly they don't need to see what you look like in real life. I'm sure they're curious, but suddenly they're just interested. All they see on the screen is your VTuber model. So I think that removes that attractiveness aspect of it. And now it's just content or skills. So you just need to have one of those 2, right? Because you already have the attractive model, quote unquote attractive model, right? So I think that's a big reason of why people VTube. It's that part. And I think when you guys were speaking about the personas or people acting a certain way to kind of fit the character they've made, the model they have or lore or whatever behind their character, I think that's really rare. I think that's only in like the really good VTubers who have built up this persona. Like there are 2 VTuber companies or whatever they're called, like a Hololive and Sanju. They have the biggest VTubers, right? And those people are really veteran streamers. They can kind of always stick to like turn their personality on and off, right, for their VTuber or their model or character or whatever it is, persona. But a lot of people are just regular streamers VTubing, right? They're just regular people like you and I. They're not used to acting out a personality, right? Maybe they are, but A lot of people are just themselves. They just have a different model on the screen. It's not their camera, right? So I think it's just like regular streamers with a model. That's it for most people, at least. And as for, I think, so yeah, so why people VTube is not that confusing to me. Like why people want to be VTubers.
Well, good catch.
You-
Ending it right there, then and there.
You did say
But,
attractive
yeah.
people though who could resist these guns, you know?
Yeah,
No.
Brandon, you got two things from that list. Kevin, I'm talking about the looks and the personality.
Yeah,
So
you have all three
you're
things,
squared away.
actually.
Yeah,
You don't need to be
exactly.
good at
I'm the
games.
best ever. Like,
Whoa! Now let's not get too hasty now. Damn, he got biceps too.
oh
God.
yeah,
God damn, what doesn't he have?
exactly.
Yeah, but that's a good point though. Like, I never really thought about it that way, where it's like, yeah, there's actually a lot of people who VTube who are just trying to, bridge that gap between, their appearances, how people will like perceive them, and just starting out of the gate with like this really nice character, so that people will have that, initial sense of intrigue. It's really cool, and I definitely need to do more research into how the sort of VTubing space to like learn more, because I just think that since I've been around friends who are like super into it, I kind of want to watch more VTubers and just see what all the hype is about. Like, why are they such big fans of these people? I have to know.
Yeah, to me, watching a VTuber is just like watching a streamer. So it's not really any different, right? They stream themselves playing games, they stream themselves talking to their chat. It's really not any different. It's just you're seeing a different thing on the screen, like a different person or like a different model, whatever, So if you don't like their personality, just watch a different VTuber, watch a different streamer. It's not any different. But yeah, just like regular streamers who stream with their normal webcam, VTubers vary, right? It just depends on the person. There are weird, really weird, offensive VTubers. They're really nice, like kind, who show that personality, that kind of VTuber. There's just everyone. It's just like any other streamer. So.
Yeah.
For sure.
Imagine liking VTubers. Could not be me.
You'll be surprised.
Just like people who watch streamers and that stereotype that people get really like attached or parasocial, like have a parasocial relationship with streamers. People have that with VTubers too. It's not any different. It's just the same to me. I don't know. It's not that much different.
Yeah, on that topic, do you guys have any like streamers that you personally really like, that you're like a fan of, or that you just go watch their stream whenever they're live? For me, I was like, right now my favorite streamers are like Ludwig and his friends. I just find his content to be really entertaining because it's like a nice sort of mix of like both entertaining stuff but also really informational stuff, and I kind of like it when he covers like all like the sort of big events that are happening in like the entertainment and the gaming space with like Mogu Mail, and like Off Brand is super cool, and like I like that they have like esports team too, and like sometimes Ludwig like streams like watch parties for like his Valorant team, which I find really entertaining. But do you guys have any like streamers that you're a fan of right now?
When I watch streamers, I don't really watch streamers that often. I only if it's like I'm eating dinner or I need something to watch while I'm doing something else, then I'll play like I have a stream on my second monitor just in the background, right? Like kind of background noise. But I think the streamers I watch, earlier I was talking about those 2 out of 3 things, right? For me, those 2 things that are really important to me are being at least decent, like really good at a game. You don't have to be like a pro. You just have to be like pretty good. Like you have to understand what's going on. And second is you have to be entertaining, like have an entertaining personality. That's why Scar usually fits those 2 things. But I don't watch Scar nowadays. I'll watch like a TFT streamer called K3 Soju. You guys know who that is?
Oh,
He's
yeah.
in Cloud9.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
part of Cloud9.
Oh,
He's a really big streamer. He's like the biggest TFT streamer, I think. And for Valorant, I'll watch for Valorant. I think I'll watch like Subroza. You guys know who Subroza is, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like really funny. And he's really good. So.
Yeah.
How about you, Brandon?
I actually don't really watch any streams anymore. When
Really?
I did it usually was there's a horror, like a streamer that plays like variety horror games, Inzum. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He plays a lot of Phasmophobia. And there was a period, and Kevin talked about it, he thinks Phasmo was boring, but I liked it. I liked it for a while. Me and my friend would play it, boot it up, and just chill and play it for like a couple hours at a time. And so when I was playing that a lot, I'd always boot up his stream whenever he'd go live and see what like horror games he's playing. And then I watched some Final Fantasy 14 streamers because I played it a while ago, and I had a friend that was really into it. So like Zeno and Arthur's, I don't know if you guys know either of them. I watch quite a bit of them, but other than that, not a fan of too many streamers.
What about you, Jillian?
Yeah, I kind of talked about, Ludwig's pretty cool. I am a fan of H-Rock. I know he had the drama recently, but I feel like he's redeemed himself. If you watch some of his like past videos where he talks about, sort of the reparations he's doing to like make it up to all those female streamers, like he's actually like paying like thousands of dollars to actually work with like legal counsel to like take down any like deepfake stuff on those websites. So I just feel like doing that sort of redeems him a bit. So I've truthfully been watching his streams again. I just find him really funny, and especially because I'm a marketer for my day job, I just like learning about all different marketing topics too. Other streamers that I was a big fan of, I used to watch a lot of League of Legends streamers. I know before you mentioned like how streamers don't stream with a webcam and stuff. I was a big fan of Gosu, and he was actually the person who really inspired me to play League more and try to get better at AD carry. And so that's why I ended up getting like level 7 mastery on Vayne, because he played a lot of Vayne, and I thought, if I played Vayne, I would be cool. So I played a lot of Vayne because of him.
Yeah, do you guys remember the whole thing about him where people were really hoping he was a girl?
Yeah!
He never spoke and never had his webcam on.
Yeah!
And then he showed a picture of himself, and they're like, this is an ugly dude.
That's a dude!
It's so funny.
I know. Truthfully, I was pretty sad when it turned out he was a guy. I was like, oh my god, like, if he was a girly, he was like, an inspiration to us all with all like his ADC skills. But nope, that was dashed. I remember Wild Turtle also posted on like Reddit back then too, where he's like, "Oh yeah, Gosu, I know them. He's definitely a girl."
As a joke, right? Yeah.
Yeah. He lied. I also used to watch a lot of I'm a Cutie Pie back when he was like his streaming career was taking off, but I don't even know what happened to him. He just sort of like disappeared off the face of the planet.
Welcome to the Big Dick Club.
Yeah.
Where's your doggers and all that shit?
Yeah.
Scar talked about this actually. He said when he was in Dignitas with Cutie Pie was his AD carry, right, on his team. Mm-hmm. After they stopped, playing professionally, Cutie Pie heard from his friend. This was before Tesla blew up. Cutie Pie heard from his friend to invest all of his money and earnings into Tesla. He got mega rich. He's becomes a millionaire, and now he just plays whatever he wants. He does whatever the fuck he wants. That's what PewDiePie's doing.
That's the dream.
He doesn't have to stream because he doesn't need money. So.
Damn.
Yep.
Well, at least he's living the good life now.
Yeah.
I know his content was like popping off in the league scene. Like every day he was like posting like a really funny like highlight clip from his streams, and I thought it was like super good, especially for like the league scene, because there's like not really a lot of content at the time because Donkey left, and he was kind of like the torchbearer of all league content. Even though it was toxic as fuck, it was still really entertaining because it's like, oh, all the things he's talking about is true.
Yeah.
League of Legends has all these problems.
You guys know he was married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they like divorced or separated.
Oh, but, you're talking about I'm a Cutie Pie?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's just so funny to me that they can I share my screen?
It's just like
they like got married.
So funny.
They got married? No, not divorced. He got married, and he got married in the same black shirt and shorts that he wears all the time.
I saw. Yeah. They had a very scruffed ass wedding. Like his wife was all dressed up, and he's just like
in a white t-shirt. Yeah.
Everyone was just like, bro.
I need to find that. I know what you're talking about.
I just found it, but I'm not gonna share it. You guys already know what it was like.
So funny. Yeah, I wonder if that was a contributing factor to their divorce. She's like, "You're not gonna dress up for my wedding, dude."
look back at the wedding photos in like 20 years. He's just
that's so. Your kids see you, they're just like, bro.
Knowing him, he probably doesn't care that much. JK, I don't know him, so maybe he does. That's just how his way of showing it.
But honestly, like, he was so chill about it too. When like a lot of, I know this is not very commonly known, but so many league players are just so toxic and like they're just so like hard to play with, and when they start losing, everybody gets mad. But even no matter what would happen, like he would just be there laughing on stream. Like he'd get frustrated, but he'd be having a good time the entire time, right? Which is like so rare for League streamers.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. He sounds like a really cool guy. If that's what he's really like that's sort of in a way also the most toxic thing too. It's like all these people are like, super serious about the game, and then he's just like super chill about it. I'm sure that makes them even feel more frustrated. But yeah, I think what's funny about I'm a Cutie Pie and like Scar and Dignitas and stuff is that there's like this really old like Dignitas house tour. I think by HyperX, and like they go into the house and it's like a fucking dump. I show that to my brother, and my brother's not like that big into esports, but like every time like I'm talking about it, he brings up that video just because of how bad it was. And he just thinks that all esports players live like that.
Most of them do, I heard. So
Oh boy.
yeah.
I mean, for the most part, all of them pretty much live in like their own apartments. I think Cloud9's like the only one that still has like a team house, which is like weird to me. It's 2023 and y'all still live in a team house. Like, don't y'all just want your personal space?
They're cutting the budget, right?
Yeah.
The esports investors are leaving. They got
Cloud9 foretold this. They were truly looking 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Save costs by putting them all in the same house. Yeah, but like
they're not really dying though as much as it's just like shifting, right? It's just shifting to mostly like Valorant, and I guess I don't know, not really fighting games though, is it? It's just like mostly shifting to Valorant right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you asking if esports is dying?
No. Well, over here, because in general, I know esports isn't dying. It's like super popular in Asia and like Europe and stuff, but over here, it's not as popular. Right?
Yeah, I don't think NA esports orgs are doing well since the crypto crash, because a lot of their sponsors were crypto sponsors, and they're definitely not doing like even half as well. I would say that's how bad it is. But obviously, they're like the big orgs aren't going to die yet, like Team Liquid, C9, and shit. Because those orgs are pretty established, I would say.
Yeah, I definitely think that, as someone who's been following along with all of like the esports team developments and sort of how the scene has been changing these past couple of months in North America, like I still think that there is hope and like stability in it. But of course, I think just overall because of the entire situation of the world and the environment that we're in, like it's affecting everything. And for esports too, like since it's still a really like new industry, like of course they're gonna have to like cut costs wherever possible because there's just not enough infrastructure there to like push it forward that growth stage. But all these esports teams are still kicking, they're still paying all these hefty salaries to all these players. So it's like I think there's still hope for sure. Like as long as there's still fans, there's still esports.
True.
I know. I just wish that North American esports hit the same level of investment and like fanfare as the Eastern regions too, because in China and like Korea, like they all have like dedicated like PC spaces, and like people actually like consider it as like a really valid like pastime, like hobby. It just sucks that it's like not as common here, but I think it's like just how culture works, I guess, between the two.
Like I don't know how common it is there, since you guys like are way more diverse in like the gaming community. But like here, if you try to ask anybody like they play video games, it's always Call of Duty. Like that is the first words that come out of their mouth every single time when you're over here. It's never like any game with like a big competitive scene. It's just Call of Duty, which I don't know how big that competitive scene is, but like it's for sure not other esports that are growing around here.
Yeah, if we're just talking about like popularity of games or popularity of esports, it makes sense, because it makes sense why in California there would be a bigger esports audience than somewhere like like Michigan, right? Because just look at the income levels, like the average income of the normal person here, and the cost of a PC, building a PC, and the cost of like a console, for example. it's much cheaper to play Call of Duty on your Xbox or PS or whatever you play on, right? Than it is to build a PC to play like a PC game. And I guess that's why, at least in North America, it's less likely you'll find people who play PC games than it is to find someone who plays on console like Nintendo Switch or whatever, right? So it's never like I don't think PC gaming will ever be as big as console gaming in America. I can't speak for Asia, but of course, I think esports kind of was born in Korea in the sense of StarCraft 2. I don't know if you guys know the whole lore behind StarCraft 2 in Korea and stuff, or StarCraft 1 rather, Brood War. Esports to me originated from StarCraft 1 Brood War, and which is a Blizzard game, right? But they used to like have these like OGN like game like shows where they'd show all the StarCraft players like tournaments playing against each other, and this was like the OG like tournament you watch like online, streamed. So to me, Korea is kind of like really accepting of a career as a pro gamer. That's why, like Korea is like that. It's maybe like kind of bled over to China and Japan, right? Because they're so close. But in America, it's not really. Maybe it's become better nowadays. Maybe parents are more accepting of like people trying to pursue a gaming career. But definitely, it's nowhere near like Korea. And I think that's partly because so I watch a lot of like Korean content like on YouTube, and the way young people speak about Korea is they call it hell. There's like a word in Korea, they call it hell. They would rather live in America, they would rather live anywhere but Korea, because the job prospects are so insanely like low that unless you get an insane score on your high school exam for your college entrance exam and go to a really nice college or university, you can't get a good job that pays well. That's just how it is. So I guess that's why people see gaming as like a possible like career path, because it's so hard to get into a good school, but it's less hard to play games all day and get good, right? Because it's accessible. But in America, it's actually kind of like not too bad of a prospect to get a real job that pays decently. Whereas gaming is seen as like a waste of time here. So yeah, I don't think esports will ever be as big in America as it is in Asia. Like never, actually. I don't think it will ever. But I think it's sustainable, at least. Definitely in the
Yeah.
So what you're saying is, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I remember the good old days, like on my iPod Touch in like 2008, watching H4 Husky, watching those good old StarCraft videos. You know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
Yeah.
You used to watch StarCraft videos on iPod Touch?
Oh yeah.
Well, I didn't, but apparently Brandon did.
Yeah.
God
I
damn.
always wanted to play when I was younger, but I didn't have a PC to play, so like.
Damn. Do you have to play it now at least?
It's hard.
No, because by the time I got a PC, I mean, not that many people would play StarCraft nowadays, so.
Damn.
StarCraft's dead.
I was like,
in America.
Okay, I'll play League of Legends. Big mistake, but like, yeah.
Hey, at least you're not supporting Blizzard, am I right?
True.
Looks at your Diablo 4 download. But what I was gonna say was like, you're telling me my job prospects in Korea are esports and K-pop? I can be either or? Like, damn. No wonder they're pumping it out like their mass production facility. Like, they have nowhere else to go. Everything else is doom and gloom.
Yeah, what is Korea known for? Like K-pop and skincare.
Yeah, K-pop, skincare, racism.
Oh yeah. So Jillian, it's either the
Sexism.
PC bang or Produce 48. That's it.
Damn, shoot. Well, knowing that the Produce 48 will probably like edit me out of all the episodes, I think I'll take PC Bong.
Kato said, "I thought you like Overwatch too." Yeah, is that true, Jillian?
That's true. That's true.
Blizzard stan.
You're right. I'm quick to forgive once I see a cute skin for my favorite character. I was like, I'm uninstalling this game. Sees Rogue Kiriko. All right, reinstall.
I'm coming back.
I know, but yeah, like that's all really interesting, and like I just loved hearing about your thoughts about K-pop music, VTubing, and that's really good precursor to what we're gonna talk about in our next episodes where we'll be inviting a VTuber guest to hopefully talk about, why they wanted to do VTubing, their experiences with it, what they like and what they don't like about it. So I'm sure it's going to be a really interesting conversation just to get the perspective from an actual VTuber. So I hope y'all are going to be excited for that when we do bring that guest over. We'll actually be taking a break next week because I'll be out relaxing on vacation. So I won't be able to do a podcast episode next week, but we'll be returning the week after that, the week of the 10th, where we'll hopefully be having that VTuber guest. So be sure to stay tuned. But do y'all have any other closing remarks before we end the session tonight?
They're calling you out. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, Kevin, but they're calling you out, Jillian. You got all the battle passes.
I did. Okay, yeah, actually I did. I actually did, actually.
She's like, oh my god, I did.
Oh, wait, I did. Fuck. It's okay. It's just $10.
Times 4? 3?
Spread out over like 3 months per pop. It's a business expense.
But my closing remark was that I'm not sure we should invite only VTuber, or I'm not sure we should only look to invite a VTuber guest. Like, I think streamer would be more appropriate. Streamer or VTuber, like regular streamer.
I'm down with that idea too.
Yeah.
Probably be more flexible too because I don't know any VTubers. Like, I don't know any.
Cold call, cold message people.
I know. Gotta work on our business pitch.
Hey, we have 5 subscribers on YouTube. Would you like to attend our podcast?
We think that your values really align with slAyMA's. Really have the slay mentality.
The only requirement is they have to say slAyMA at some point.
Yeah.
You have to slip one in. Or another day, another slay, Exactly.
How about you, Brandon? Do you have any closing thoughts about what we've discussed today? Any closing words to our viewers and any advice on how to live each day with a slay?
Thank you guys for calling Jillian out. We don't want any fakes on our stream. so continue the good work. Continue the good work, everybody. But other than that, just slay men. Slay men.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the stream if you hate the stream. Don't forget to subscribe to the stream if you like the stream. See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, make sure to share the stream to all your friends, family, your mom, your dad, your grandma,
your dog, your
any
cat.
and everyone. And hope you all have a great rest of your slayful day.
Slay men.
Slay men.
Bye.
All right.